Gas prices continue to hurt hard-working Americans and force many companies to jack up their prices to offset transportation costs of goods and services. Patrick Haan is the head of petroleum analysis at GasBuddy, and he joins us this morning. Great to see you.
Good to be with you.
At the beginning of the week, you estimated that the national average of gas could potentially drop another 4 to 9 cents per gallon. Talk us through what you're seeing right now.
Well, we are, for now, seeing a continued drop. In fact, the national average now down to about $4.16 a gallon. That's 19 cents lower than where prices peaked, and we're now into the second week of declines. And I do expect that most of the country should continue to see a little bit of relief at the pump. I think for now, the national average may go down to somewhere around $4 a gallon. Of course, a lot of that is contingent on what happens between Russia and Ukraine. Obviously, that's a situation that continues to unfold.
In the meantime, President Biden did announce that we as a country would release 1 million barrels of oil from our strategic petroleum reserve for the next 6 months. What impact, Patrick, should we see as a result of that?
Well, I think the president's, again, using the SPR essentially for a price ceiling to continue to hold the price of oil from going up to new levels, especially in light of talk that continues between the EU countries about potentially sanctioning Russia's energy. So I think for now, the SPR announcement does continue to prevent oil prices from seeking new territory in terms of climbing. But the biggest questions are still out there in terms of what the EU is going to do. Will it sanction Russia's energy? And if it does, I think the SPR announcement is going to be basically completely offset.
And I was going to ask you about that. I want to get your take on this because some experts are warning the petroleum reserve release could backfire. A writer at oilprice.com wrote this: in this environment, releasing whatever number of barrels from strategic reserves could only provide a very short relief at the pump. Then it may make matters even worse. As one oil market commenter on Twitter said about the SPR release news, the White House will be selling these barrels at $100 and then may have to buy them at $150. So what's your thoughts on that? I mean, long term, as you said, could this happen?
Well, I think the White House is aiming to have the flip happen. They're aiming to sell into the market at $100 to $105 a barrel. And then they're hoping by the end of the year and into 2023 that additional oil will come online that will keep the price of oil far lower. So I think that's the administration's goal, is to sell oil into the market at the higher price and then rebuy it down the road once the market is cooled off. And I think, even before the Russia-Ukraine situation, my expectation is that we would see relief by the end of this year because we will see more oil production coming online.
Well, a Quinnipiac University poll released last week found that most Americans are blaming the Biden administration's energy policies for these high gas prices. Only 24% said this was a direct result of the war in Ukraine. And now some Democrats on Capitol Hill are blaming price gouging. So I want to get your thoughts, Patrick, first of all, on this price gouging tactic and really what it's going to take long term to make these prices come down and also make America energy independent.
Well, I think a lot of the price gouging headlines are very, very much clickbaity in terms of, making political points or trying to score political points ahead of the elections. I see a market that's working well here. Prices are going up as a lack of supply hits the market as a result of the Russia-Ukraine situation. So is there price gouging? 99.999% of stations are probably just passing along their price. Maybe 1 or 2 stations, especially those in California, $8. That may be price gouging, but very little of that is happening. I do think we'll get relief later this year, but obviously, things are changing in the Russia-Ukraine situation, so it's very difficult to tell what is coming down the line.
Patrick, great seeing you this morning. We appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me.